My son sat the bench for an entire season, and it took me one spreadsheet to end a coach's career. Marcus is 15. He's not a superstar, but he made varsity as a sophomore, which tells you something. He's the kid who shows up early, stays late, never complains. So when he quit talking about baseball entirely, this kid who used to narrate every practice at dinner, I noticed. One night in April, I found him in the garage, just sitting there with his glove in his lap, not even looking at it. I asked what was going on. He shrugged. I waited. Finally, he said, "Coach Brennan doesn't play guys like me." I asked what guys like me meant. He got quiet, then said, "Guys who don't do his winter program." Coach Brennan runs a private hitting facility in the off-season. $1,200 for the winter package. We couldn't swing it this year, and honestly, Marcus didn't want to go. I'd assumed it was optional. It said optional on the flyer. I told Marcus I'd talk to the coach. He begged me not to. "It'll make it worse, Dad." That sentence kept me up that night. A 15-year-old shouldn't already understand how retaliation works. I emailed Coach Brennan asking for a short meeting about Marcus's playing time. He replied that he doesn't discuss lineup decisions with parents. I emailed the athletic director. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. I called the school. The secretary said Mr. Doyle was very busy during spring season. I asked when he wasn't busy. She suggested I try again in June, after the season ended. So I stopped asking and started counting. Every game is live streamed and the league posts box scores. I went back through all 14 games and built a spreadsheet. Every player, every inning played, every at-bat. Then I did something simple. I cross-referenced it with the winter program. That part was easy, because Brennan's facility posts photos all winter. Group shots, tagged names. Look at these guys putting in the work. The pattern wasn't subtle, it was math. 11 kids did the winter program. They averaged over 5 innings a game, regardless of how they performed. 2 of them were hitting under .200 and started every single game. The 4 kids who didn't pay, including Marcus, averaged less than 1 inning. One of them, a junior who'd made all-conference the year before, had been benched so long his parents thought he'd been injured. I didn't write an angry email. I wrote a boring one. I attached the spreadsheet, the box scores, the tagged photos, and the school's own athletic handbook, which states that participation in paid outside programs shall never influence team selection or playing time. I sent it to the athletic director, the principal, and the district office, and I asked one question. Can someone explain the correlation in column F? The district called me the next morning. The meeting was me, the athletic director, and Coach Brennan, who walked in smirking like this was a formality. I didn't make a speech. I slid the spreadsheet across the table and let it sit there. Doyle went line by line. You could watch his face change around row 9. Brennan said playing time was a gut feeling built on 20 years of coaching. Doyle tapped the paper and asked why his gut only trusted kids whose parents had paid him $1,200. Brennan said the winter guys were simply more prepared. Doyle pulled up the batting averages I'd highlighted and asked him to explain how a kid hitting .188 was more prepared than an all-conference player riding the bench. Brennan started a sentence 3 different times. He never finished one. I'll give Doyle credit for what he did next. He didn't look at me. He looked at Brennan and said, "You turned a public school roster into a customer loyalty program." Then he asked me to step out. Brennan resigned to focus on his business 10 days later. The district opened a review and it turned out 3 other families had complained over the years, complaints that had gone into a drawer. They're not in a drawer anymore. The assistant coach took over. First game, he put Marcus in at second base. No announcement, no apology, no moment. Just his name on the lineup card like it should have been all along. Marcus went 2 for 3. I watched him from the bleachers talking nonstop in the dugout, and I realized I hadn't seen him do that in months. He narrated the whole game at dinner that night. Nobody at that school discusses lineup decisions with parents. Fine by me. I let the spreadsheet do the talking.